What's up, It's DieselDonlow here. Welcome to the fourth episode of Muse State Podcast.
What's up? This is DieselDonlow here. Welcome to the fourth episode of Muse State Podcast. This podcast is about entrepreneurship and how entrepreneurship started with DieselDonlow. And I want to share with you guys, a lot of people have been asking me about how it all started, how, it came about, and I'm just going to answer a few questions and go from there. So the first thing I want to start with is, why are you an entrepreneur? I'm an entrepreneur because that's like what I do, is born in me. And ever since I was a little boy, at probably the age of 11, I heard a song and the artist inspired me to, what is an entrepreneur? So I looked it up, like, what is an entrepreneur? And it's someone who sells products and can make a profit and he can sell stuff. And I saw that. I was like, okay, well, that sounds good. And that's just, something that stuck with me for a while. And I guess like my senior year, we had a class. It was an economic class. And, it's funny, like everything I don't like doing now, or I thought I didn't like, I'm doing it now. Like, it's just crazy, like how it all works out. Like I'm doing everything like that I'm like, didn't like growing up. So it's like, I do that. And like we'd have a class where we had to sell T-shirts and stuff like that and clothes. And I was like, wow, I didn't really put no effort towards it at all. And the funny thing is, like, I just didn't put no effort towards it at all. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But you know what? It taught me, the fundamentals of how to start a business. And that class right there took me on to other, things, other interests, other things I wanted to study and stuff like that. So that class, we had to sell T-shirts. I probably was one of the last ones and like who even sold items. Like I didn't want to do it at all because I was focused on basketball at the time and I just, didn't give a, crap about it. But now, that things change and I'm in the fitness game. I also didn't like fitness at all. It was crazy. Like I didn't like it at all. Didn't like fitness at all. And then like it's the beauty of it that I end up doing things I didn't thought I'd be doing, and also the acting and all that stuff. So that all comes a part of the entrepreneur. And wow, I became one because I said I wanted to be one, but I wasn't ready until I was ready. And I remember a story in college. We came back from winter break, and the teacher asked me, well, what do you guys do over break? And this is like when I first created DieselDonlow brand. And I was like, dang. I worked with my dad and started a business. I lied. I totally lied. But I really started my brand because I didn't want to be embarrassed of telling someone like I started my own brand. So it was like I didn't know how to like, get that information to her. So it's just crazy. Like I didn't even think I'd be doing it. And I had to lie about it because I was embarrassed because my friends and classmates had like internships with people and they're doing other business things like working for somebody else. And at the core of me, I can't work for nobody like that. Like I wasn't I was set on being an entrepreneur and doing business collaborations and networking that way. And I work with people like that, like people that's like-minded and, we have similar interests and stuff like that make me, like what we're doing, what project we're doing, what, things we're doing in life. So a lot of that was, I had to figure it out, how I was going to do it. But that's how like my journey became an entrepreneur, and like I worked for a few companies where I didn't like particularly like what I was doing, but I learned a lot of business, ideas from them and how a system of business works. And I worked for a company that made windows, and my dad worked for them before, and it's just I had to learn how to the system operate. So I was in the factory working, and it was a line system. So one line comes to this line comes to that line, come to that line, and back and forth. So I was like the last line where I had to wrap the windows, push in a machine, and then they from my station went to shipping area. So I ended up eventually kind of learning how I worked in the shipping, and it was just awesome that I had a chance to learn business that way, because I learned from being in a factory. I learned how the system operates and coming to one brand, finished product. And so with me becoming an entrepreneur, I had to work like a system. So I had to learn how to start a business, what business I'm starting. And then the next step was I had to learn how to do the next step, which was how do I get people to like it or market it and find a target market. And then now I had to figure out how I was going to inspire and motivate people to do the next thing. So all those things was perfect for what we had to do, because I had to figure it out, how the system worked. And me working that job at Polaris, I learned how a system of a business worked, because I was in the factory, and then they had the people in the office and stuff like that. So this job was happening when I was in school, prior to me making that decision to create DieselDonlow. So also I worked for another company. I had to learn how to market. I was a marketing person, so I was like, okay, I had to learn how to market this tax company and how we are a great tax company at the time. So I had to learn how to do that, and that worked out because now I know how to market my brand and how things work and how things don't work, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's just crazy that, all these things, lined up for me. And that's how that started with me becoming an entrepreneur. So you have to figure out, okay, how do I start my entrepreneurial side? How do I create a brand? And then you take it as a system. So I learned from all these companies I worked from, and it's just crazy. I worked with some silly people, but they taught me a lot at the time, and I really appreciate everyone that came forth and taught me discipline and how the things operate and money and how the money works. And you really have to study this stuff. And I'm really, big on, reading and, researching and, networking and collaboration and stuff like that. So that's how that started with that. So I'm an entrepreneur for millions of reasons. I feel like I want to give back to, to the community, give back to the people after me, the people that come and, learn from me and stuff. I want to motivate people through my products. I want to inspire people through my brand and products and service. And that's all I wanted to do. Is when I created when I was a trainer, I created, a brand that was for motivation and inspire you to work out, to get your butt in the gym, to be healthy, to watch what you eat, to be conscious of that. And I feel like my brand did that. I got people to feel better about themselves, feel inspired, feel motivated, that they weren't just coming to the gym just to go in the gym and look around and be scared that they're going to be tough. And we're going to get it done and get your weight where you needed to be at the time when I was training people. So I want my brand to inspire you, motivate you through my clothing. Shout out to Legarius right now. My boy Larry Lemuel doing his thing right now. So I feel like I wanted my brand to inspire you, kind of. And that's where I got the idea to do that. So just trying to be creative and innovative and stuff like that. And I'm an entrepreneur because I want to work with different people. That's me. And we create beautiful products and services and stuff like that. And I'm really big on inspiration and motivation. And if you don't have that motivation inside you, we're going to find that motivation for you, for the brand, and bring it out of you, bring the best out of you. And I learned from some great people, through their work and through their action. So obviously, that's what I want to do with my brand, is to motivate, inspire, and dominate. And that's why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So the way I learned how to become an entrepreneur was probably through people I was inspired by, my muses in life. Like I said before, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Manny Fresh, I had some other ones too, but those were the ones like I really like loved growing up. And like I said, like I learned how to become a business because by watching them and watching them work and watching them, proceed. Obviously, I learned from other people prior to that. Obviously, I learned from, people I was around in life at the time. One of my friend's dad owned a restaurant, and I got a chance to learn from him as well, how he was buying product from one person to make, his products for his customers. And it was just like a trickle effect. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, bah, bah. So I learned how the system worked that way too. Like he bought products from a wholesale food person, and then he brings it to his shop, and then boom, 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 he made it, and then boom, the end result. So that's another way I learned. I learned by, just watching people before me. And me being in these like businesses, I worked for someone. I obviously learned how to do it from that way as well. So I think it was, the beauty in that. It was, it was a beauty in that, man, because you had a chance to like learn from all different type of people, all different type of services and businesses they were doing. So that was great that I seen like that. So that I'm really like big on, learning from people. So I think that was, vital to my success, growing up. With different things in life, it helps them feel inspired to do something great with your product. It's a story behind it. You have something to grow from it that they can grow with it, and your story relates to them. And with me, my brand is like really just to get them to the next level, to feel great, to dominate, motivate, inspire, to feel that they can do anything in life that they put their mind to. And my brand is just really, really grown in that way because I started out just like I said with fitness, all that stuff, and now we've grown to selling so much different products and me branding other people helping me. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but like my brand just evolved from me just training people to where I am now. And you have to like evolve in business and think about the future for your family and your legacy. And I'm just real big on that. And I feel like it's an opportunity for me to help other people. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to read on things that, that you want to do. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know how to form an LLC or a partnership or sole proprietor or a corporation or SS Corp. There's so many different directions you can go with businesses and stuff like that. Understand the market and, who your consumers are. So it took me a long time to figure out that for me because, I'm a go-getter. So I just made it happen and I just created it. And now I had to take a risk. You got to take a lot of risk in entrepreneurship, and you're going to fail a lot. And, it's going to be a lot of failures in life. And you got to understand, like, it's coming. Failure is coming in life, and you have to accept it. But I look at it as more as lessons, how you can learn from it, how can you grow from it, how can you, become better at it. So a lot of it was just, like when you fail, you have to learn how to fail first, and then that's how you succeed. And me creating my brand allowed my other people in my life to create their brand and their passion and stuff like that. So you got to feed off of different things like that. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, it's a 24/7 thing, and you got to live, breathe this stuff. You got to study the market, study stock, study all these different things. So when you become in a business, you know exactly what you're doing, and pay attention, write down different things, write down, how this person did it, study someone. Maybe you can take an internship, something. And I feel like if you guys want to become an entrepreneur, it's there, go get it. It's the time to do it now. Now is the time, because it's a time to create that brand and it's a unique time in America because not only can you, create it online, but you can do everything online. And that's the beauty of social media and technology. It evolves so much, and you get to learn from all other type of people that's doing what you're doing and doing something they love to do. And that's just the beauty of it, man. It's just so much beauty in business, and seeing the progress, seeing the patience, seeing, all the different things that we got to see. So it's just like a beautiful thing when you got to go through like different things in life and go through different business things just to see how it works and all that. So I think that's it's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, man. I hope everyone that listen to this podcast, listen to the journey, listen to the start, listen to the motivation, the inspiration, the muse, the art into this. And I might not be a painter, but I'm a painter in business. I'm an art. I create an art through business. So I just want you guys to be motivated like I am, be inspired like I am, to dominate whatever you want to do in life. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please subscribe, share, comment, and bring people to the page. Go get your shirts at my website, www.DieselDonlow.shop, and go get it, man. It's time to be legendary. It's time to leave a legacy in life, and I hope to share that journey with you guys. Diesel out.